The VSR-98 camouflage pattern is a successor to VSR-93 camouflage pattern, which saw prolific use throughout the First Chechen War and was replacing for the old Soviet USSR era solid color Afghanka uniform system. However, it kept a lot of the same cuts that were used during that time or made slight adjustments, such as with the winter Afghanka Parka. The VSR-93 goes by many names such as Barvika, Vertical, Dubak, or Little Oak, or what collectors call it, VSR-93. The VSR-93 camouflage pattern was printed onto several articles of apparel, ranging from uniforms, load-bearing equipment, and body armor. Goddamn. VSR-98 differs from the VSR-93 by incorporating horizontal stripes instead of vertical stripes and opted for a more green look that blends into most woodland environments while a soldier is in the most common positions, such as standing and crouching. VSR-93 was replaced by VSR-98 because the Russian military did not like the effectiveness of it when standing and crouching. Having a camouflage pattern that works best when prone is not the most practical idea, so they replaced it. VSR-98 was regularly used from the Second Chechen War to the early 2010s. It started to see limited use among conventional forces after the introduction of digital Flora or EMR as a standard issue in 2011. But like every Russian camouflage pattern, it still pops up sporadically, even present day. So, as I stated in my camo background, Flora was replaced by digital Flora, also known as EMR Summer, in July 2010. It was replaced by the Udashkin cut, which would later be replaced slowly by the VKBO cut in 2013. However, the Udashkin cut remained in production all the way to 2017 and still shows up sporadically. My main source of EMR camo uniform information is Red Eye of an Airsoft. He makes a lot of good videos, which I get a lot of my technical information from. The VSR-98 Flora uniform comes in two main cuts. The Afghanka cut with cargo pockets and the upper waist hemstring in the jacket, and the cut that is the specification 2005 deletes the upper waist hem drawstring in the jacket and cargo pockets of the pants, but adds camo mesh pit vents. The last major conflict that 2005 cut uniform saw major use in was in the 2008 invasion of Georgia, where it was used by normal infantry. The last major conflict the Afghanka cut Flora uniform saw use in was the Second Chechen War and also the 2008 invasion of Georgia. There is only one picture that I've been able to find of the 2005 cut Flora uniform in present-day Ukraine post-2022 invasion. There are two other cuts of Flora uniform that I know of. One is for airborne, that is ripstop, and one that I've seen in one photo that is ripstop and being used by naval infantrymen. Flora comes in a couple of shades which can be blamed on fading, material, and different manufacturers. I've seen a lot of Afghanka cut Flora uniforms fade into what is called a watermelon shade, which, well, looks like a watermelon. You also see a yellow fade which can be found on gear made of aramid/disco fabric. This shade is called Disco Flora. As Johnny Violent 77 said, the fabric was used to make fire-resistant gear. After exposure to sunlight, the base color turns from its original fabric hue to an orange-ish tint. Armor covers, LBV, and a variety of other items were made using this fabric. Some may confuse the shade with Mountain Flora. An easy way to tell if something is Mountain Flora or Disco Flora is to think about what it is printed on. An orange 6B13 is more than likely a Disco Flora item compared to a Mountain Flora SB13. Mountain Flora was a special shade of Flora developed for either the 34th Mountain Brigade or VDV reconnaissance. Some sources vary, but almost any cool Russian camo you see, someone will say is made for the VDV. Mountain Flora was issued to mountain troops stationed in the Caucasus Mountains and has an orange, or sometimes called pumpkin spice color, to blend into the Caucasus Mountains during the fall or demi-season conditions. Mountain Flora came in a ripstop gorka-like cut that was made for cold and harsh weather. Lastly, on the topic of gorkas, there is a gorka-like garment in normal Flora called N Flora Gorka, which was used prominently during the 2008 Russian invasion of Georgia. All in all, the original shade of Flora has several different greens, light and dark, with a semi-dark brown and a horizontal orientation, meant to blend into most forests during late spring through summer. I have found it to be effective and a practical choice for here in the UP of Michigan during summer. Some may say it is dark, but there are plenty of pine trees sporadically located throughout the bright green forest of the UP for this to be effective. On a side note, I think the most effective pattern I have for the UP is the summer side of the 6SH122. Thank you for staying throughout the information dump. Now let's show the VSR-98 Flora 2005 cut uniform in detail. Starting out with the jacket, I would like to first say that I got this uniform from Krishiki Supply Company in early 2024 for about $80. Now, we're going to talk about the jacket's features, starting off with the front torso. On the front torso, you have 4 torso pockets, similar to the US BDU. You have 2 smaller chest pockets with no pen pocket in them. They pleat out to the sides, like so, on both sides, both pockets. You have those mesh pit vents, showing them here, in Flora camo, pretty cool. And you have 2 lower, bigger bottom torso pockets here. On the sleeves, you have normal Afghanka style, pleated, comes out on both sides here. Shorter pockets, close with Velcro, very nice Velcro. Interior, camouflage, has those on both sides. You have 2 epaulets, these buttons. Kind of low quality, kind of small for my taste, especially when opening buttons. I really like the big BDU style buttons when it comes to opening pockets. You have 1 coat hook here on the inside of the jacket. You have this lining here of this kind of like a viscous material here, kind of soft. It's here for some reason. If there is a combined arms cut of the Flora uniform, then there might be a pocket here. But on this standard one, you have that lining, goes over here. You can put your hand in it and reach all the way up here. It's crazy. But on the inside here, you have a interior pocket, close with a button. On the inside of that, you have a smaller waterproof or water resistant pocket where you can fit your documents or passport. Moving down, you can see it's kind of like pleats in here to hem it up a little bit. But you have this waist drawstring here you can pull down and it can cinch it up. And what you do is you pull this and you tie it to this piece of fabric here. This kind of fabric is also found in the pants. And this fabric, when its ends are exposed, it frays immediately. Pretty low quality in my opinion. Here we have the tag. This translates into I think melangists of Alte. What is that? Stop bugging on me. To melangists of Alte, and this is Barnaul. So basically this says that this was made in the district of Alte, which is in southern Siberia, and Barnaul, which is a city in Siberia. Here we have the name that says basically month and year, and this was made in February 2010. And here we have the specification of 2005. Here's the size, 53. And you also have a stamp here. I think it says like OTK or OTB 16 or something like that, or 5, maybe 15. You also have a BMK here. And this would translate to basically it gives you who it was made by, so we know this was made in Alte, Siberia, in Barnaul City, or however it's pronounced. Moving on to the sleeve of the jacket, you have standard Afghanka style or similar elbow reinforcements here. You have a seam that runs through it. You have wrist adjustments, but not really wrist adjustments at all. You have 1 setting, and it's basically one size fits all. This has fabric here, so you're not going to get no airflow out of this, doesn't matter. But this is kind of a pain in the ass because it is kind of tight, and if you're wearing gloves and you try and slip in through here, it's have good luck, getting the shit bloused. It's not the most ergonomic to say. Flipping over here, you see we have the back plate for mobility. I think this was also found in the Afghanka. Very similar. This camouflage is very cool. Mine isn't really faded. It's just normal Flora. It's very nice. It may look yellow on camera or lighter, but in real life, this is a light kind of OG 107S green. This is almost black here, very dark green. And then this is brown, almost a reddish brown. And this, yeah, it's dark green here. On the back, you can see that there is some reinforcement here, or stitch patterns. Nice BDU style collar. And overall, that's the jacket. The jacket is made of this twill-like material. Feels a bit more cotton, more than synthetic. On the back here, you can see there's some wear on it. This might have came from my hike that I did a couple days ago. And you can see there's some wear on the back. This also could have been a factory defect. And there we go. That is an overview of the top. Here we have the VSR-98 2005 cut pants. Starting off the pockets as we did last time, there are 2 front slash pockets here. It has that kind of viscous material on the inside. Not bad, pretty good volume. There are no cargo pockets. Up by the fly, which is closed by this metal hook type system instead of a button up top. Kind of weird. You have this dog tag pocket, but I found this pocket to be very useful when carrying earplugs or change. So if you're doing military activities or you're outside, you have your firearm, maybe you're hunting, this is a very good earplug pocket. You have these belt loops across where you can fit 3 fingers in, so about 1.5 inches of a belt. You have that goes around. On the back, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 belt loops here. And this belt loop on the back, when I got it, fresh out of the bag, or as fresh as can be, unissued, this was already falling apart. What you see here is my stitching, but this was hanging on by a thread. That's what it's supposed to look like. And this white stitching, every time you see this white stitching, that's my doing. So I sewed this back on to make it more sturdy so I can actually use it. And you can see my sewing coming through the other end. On the back, this is what it looks like. you have these kind of like, I don't know, fabric reducers here to kind of like make it look better. I personally like looser fitting pants because when you're, you know, kneeling down or whatever, it's just better. But on the sides, you know, very classic of the 2008 or 2005 cut uniform, you have this seams here, which are sewn to keep it a creased, nice look. On this side, again, when I first got it, this seam was already coming undone. There was fabric just all over the place, so I sewed it back up. You have double layer of fabric here for knee reinforcements. Very nice. I think it is also on the seam too, very hefty. And on the bottom here, you have 2 drawstrings of that aforementioned cheap material that frays immediately. Had to tape it up on this one because it was so bad. But like a BDU, just pull this drawstring and blouse it. Pull it tighter to your leg. You also have the semi-stretchy, but then you have the same material as that boot blouse, where you can button it down to keep it down by your ankle instead of riding up. Have that on both legs. And here on the crotch here, we have some seams here, and these pants are size 53, which should fit me. I usually wear 32 to 34 waist, but I mean, you know, 30 to 32. I'm smaller on that size. And purring down, I blew out the crotch a little bit here, so it has reinforced it with some extra couple of seams. And when I'm wearing these pants, to be completely honest with you, I find that the crotch room is not exactly adequate, at least for me when I'm wearing them like I wear any other pants. I find that when it comes to your testicles, that this does not provide adequate room, at least for me. And I have that same issue on the Marine MCCUU pants. For some reason, it doesn't have the same crotch room as like a normal BDU pants. I'm not really a big fan of that. We have a button fly here. And on the interior, I'll turn his pants inside out. We'll talk about the interior. All right, on the interior, you can see the inside of these pockets. On both sides, there is a size stamp, or, you know, stamp production, which gives the same information. Melandis Valte, made in Barnow, February 2010, and it gives your size here, 53, which is basically like a medium regular. There's that mark here. But on the inside of these pants, some people don't know, there's actually buttons on the inside to button in a liner. But there is also, like, you know, a winter version of this uniform. I have the VSR-98 Parka, which I made a video on previously, where you saw the Flora excerpt from, the original start of this video, where I get some information about the Flora. But there is winter pants and also winter jackets. This is so you can button in a winter liner, so you don't have to issue out the entire winter pants, which are like suspenders and they're much more hefty than this. So that's the pants, and that is an overview of the Flora 2005 cut uniform pants. And also, just a little demonstration when it comes to these belt loops, they can fit this naval infantry belt here pretty easily, or an officer's belt, or, you know, the small old chowder's belt. So there you go, it could fit an officer's belt basically. Now that we're outside, I'm going to repeat the exact same information I just did, but now we're outside, so different angle, more audience retention. So again, button up front. You also have button pockets here, just like the BDU. Velcro on the sides. Epaulets. Anything on both sides. Button wrist blouse. Put it out like this. On the pants, front slash pockets. You got belt loops. On the jacket here, you got the waist hem to hem it up. On back, you got sleeves. On these, you got knee reinforcements. Still kind of tight. Wish they had a little bit more fabric like the USPDU, but overall, this uniform is not bad, and for summer use, it's pretty good. And overall, probably get some because the stock is drying up. And there's a squirrel right now. Hi, there's a squirrel. What is the squirrel doing? Hold on. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this. Yeah. Look at the squirrel. What? bruh. Alright, now that we're back inside a little, I'm going to tell you guys about how to wash this suit. So I haven't put this exact suit through a washing machine, but I have washed the pants in a big bucket of cold water and just, you know, fucking shaking that shit around in there, man. And I mean, they came out, oh god, you hear that? That's because they're fucking tight. And they don't have that much mobility. They get really tight around your legs. And when you get sweating, dude, fucking forget it. But the top fits me perfectly. The pants I feel are a little too small, but that's just kind of the downside of a combined size. So really, I think I like a 52 size pants, while I like the 50 shirt. But you know, they don't make a size that way. So yeah, that's that. And Jesus fucking Christ, we're not gonna talk about that. But the point is, I fucked up these pants. But yeah, overall, it's good, and you know, get it. On my hike, the main review that I have here, this VSR-98 Flora Uniform. It's really comfortable hiking out in the woods. It's nice and airy. Right now it's probably around like maybe 65 at most. I'm kind of in the shaded part of the forest, so it's really nice and comfortable. The mesh pit buttons are an absolute lightsaber. Even with my camo back on my back, I'm not really getting too many hot spots. And it's really overall a pretty comfortable uniform for around 65 degrees in forest, walking around, being slightly active and at a semi-brisk pace. And on my hike, it was very comfortable to hike through in the summer weather here in the UP of Michigan. I just wish for a little bit more mobility in the pants, but the reinforcement, also the reinforcement I think on the seat, shit. Fuck, I guess it does have a reinforcement on the seat, but I thought I had a reinforcement on the seat, and sitting on the rocks, I was like, thank God, reinforcement on the seat, but there's no reinforcement on the seat. But I mean, you know, knee pad reinforcements, extra good for durability, and again, overall, guys, pretty good suit. Probably get one, and you know, look cool and shit. So, oh yeah, no waist hamstring. So now you gotta look like this, look like a fucking box. So, thank you guys for watching. It's hot as fuck in my room, and goodbye.